Welcome to the office of the Westchester County Clerk's Westchester Records Online, or WRO, tutorial series. And welcome on behalf of Westchester County Clerk Tim Idoni. This tutorial will demonstrate how to search legal records in Westchester Records Online, including searching Supreme and County Court records, searching for judgments and liens, and searching for business filings. To begin, navigate to Westchester Records Online at wro.westchesterclerk.com. On the login screen, you will find three large buttons to allow you to immediately enter the system and search land records, legal records, or maps as a guest, or you can enter your user ID and password to enter as a registered user, which allows you to open, view, print, and save documents. If you would like to register to view images, click the link just above the login fields. You will then be led through a series of screens to set up a registered user account and be provided with subscription and payment options. We offer two subscription levels, a one-day subscription for $20, which ends at midnight of the following day, or a year-long subscription for $1,200, which ends 365 days from the current day. I'll click the Legal Records button and we'll enter as a guest for now. When we arrive at the Legal Records tab, notice that there are three sub-tabs to search for court records, judgments and liens, and business filings. We'll begin by examining how to look up cases in the Supreme and County Courts under the Court Records sub-tab. The simplest legal search is to look up a specific case by index number. If you already know the index number of the case you want to look up, simply enter it in the fields toward the bottom of the search frame and hit enter or click search. You will see the case name in the frame on the right, and to see the filings in the case, click details. We can now see the case docket, listing all the documents that were filed in this case. To the left of each document, we see an icon for the document's image. The image icons are gray because we are searching as a guest. If you'd like to view the document images, you can click on any of the gray image icons and you'll be given the option to go to the registration and login page. Once you log in, you'll see that the image icons are now yellow and the images will open as PDF documents. There are stars on each of the image icons for this case, which indicates that the images are the record copies of the documents. That means the images have been compared against the hard copy originals, and the Office of Court Administration has deemed the images to be the record copy, allowing the paper copies to be destroyed. Another symbol you may see on image icons in WRO is a padlock. If a document's icon has a padlock, that indicates that the document is sealed and cannot be viewed online. If you have a right to view the sealed documents, you must come to the County Clerk's office and present a picture ID and written authorization if necessary to view the documents. If you don't have a specific index number to look up, but want instead to search for a name, simply enter the name at the top of the search frame and hit enter or click search. In this example, we're searching for an individual with a pretty common name, John Smith, so I received 138 search results. Below the name fields, you can uncheck the civil or criminal box, depending on whether you are looking for a civil or criminal case, or you can uncheck plaintiff or defendant if you know which party you are looking for. Let's say we want to see if there are any criminal cases against John Smith. To narrow down the results, we can uncheck civil and uncheck plaintiff to limit the searches to cases where John Smith is a criminal defendant, and we end up with a much more manageable 14 search results to review. If you know approximately when the case occurred, or if you are simply looking for a case after or before a particular date, you can further narrow down your search using the date fields. Let's say we want to know if John Smith has been a criminal defendant since 2005. I'll set the start date to January 1st, 2005, and the end date will automatically fill in with today's date, and when I search, we end up with only 4 results. Finally, if you're unsure of the spelling of the name of a party to a case, you can enter just the beginning of the name and then click the Begins With bubble, or enter a portion of the name and click the Contains bubble. If I was looking for the name McDonald, but was unsure if it was McDonald ending in a D or McDonald ending in an L, I could just put in the beginning of the name up to the first N, and then click the Begins With bubble before clicking Search. If I'm unsure if the name starts with MAC or just MC, I can click the Contains bubble and then delete the beginning, just leaving the middle of the name, CDON. In this instance, we've expanded our search so much that we've received over 1,000 search results. WRO will display our first 1,000 results and alerts us with a pop-up that not all of the results could be displayed. Of course, the fewer letters you enter, the more results you get, as there are more names containing that combination of letters. To narrow down the results further, we could enter a first name, or even just part of a first name. If you receive voluminous search results, it's often easier to find the case you are looking for by sorting the columns of the results. You can click on any of the column headers in the search results to sort by index number, defendant, plaintiff, file date, or case type. Clicking the header a second time reverses the sorting order. If you know the case you're looking for is a contract case, you can sort by case type and then scroll down the search results until you reach the contracts cases, now grouped together by case type. If your search results include any cases that you're not interested in, you can click the small X at the beginning of the line to remove that case from your search results list. Once you find the case you are looking for and click Details, you'll see the docket listing all the documents filed in the case, and in the search results the case will be checked off so that you know that you've already reviewed that case. If there's a judgment listed in the docket, you'll see a blue JU link that will open an additional frame displaying the judgment details. If you want to see more of the judgment information on the screen, you can resize the frames by placing your mouse on the edge of the frame and then drag the frame larger or smaller while holding the left mouse button. You can also completely collapse a frame by clicking the arrow in the middle of the frame edge and then reopen the frame by clicking the arrow again. Throughout WRO, the frames are resizable to make it easier to review the information on the screen. In the judgment frame, WRO will display a wealth of information about the judgment, including the names and addresses of all the parties, the names of any attorneys for the defendants, the judgment amount, the time and date of when the judgment was docketed and perfected, the county where perfected, and if any transcripts were issued to other counties, they would be listed as well. Any subsequent documents amending or satisfying the judgment will also be displayed, and the amount will show 0 if the judgment has been completely satisfied or vacated. If rather than looking up a case, you would like to look up whether any judgments or liens have been filed against an individual, you can click the Judgments and Liens sub-tab to search for judgments and liens. Searching judgments and liens is similar to searching other records throughout WRO. There are 2 fields at the top of the search frame to enter the name that you would like to search. Below the name fields are 5 checkboxes that allow you to limit the search to specific types of documents. If I want to see if an individual has any outstanding money judgments or liens, I might want to uncheck the first box, since I'm not interested in matrimonial or declaratory judgments. If I want to see if there have been any money judgments in favor of a person or entity, I can uncheck all the judgment types except money judgments and then uncheck defendant. I'll only be shown judgments that were decided in favor of the subject of the search. Further down, there are 4 bubbles: exact, contains, begins with, and sounds like, that allow you to enter either a fragment of a name when you're unsure of the spelling or an exact name. You can also use the date range fields to limit your search to a certain time period. Finally, if you're looking for judgments or liens in a particular case, you can just enter the index number and year in the fields at the bottom, and all judgments for that case will be returned. The case that we've looked up is a consolidation of the New York State Tax Commission's delinquent tax judgments, so it lists quite a few judgments. Since there is so much information on the screen and my monitor is rather small, I may want to expand the side of the frame so that my search results are spread across the entire screen. In the search results, if a judgment has the code STP or VAC next to the judgment code, it indicates that the judgment has been satisfied or vacated without the need to actually open the details of the judgment. If you do want more information about a judgment, you can click Details to see the additional information, just as it was displayed when we viewed a judgment's details in the case docket view. If I want to change my search or visit one of the other sections of legal records, I can open the search frame again by clicking the arrow in the middle of the frame edge. We'll now take a look at the last category of records available in the Legal Records section by clicking the Business Filing sub-tab. In this section, you can search for business certificates, limited partnerships, and corporations doing business in Westchester County. While business certificates, sometimes referred to as DBAs, are filed with this office, limited partnerships and corporations file their articles of incorporation and other documentation with the state, and then summaries are forwarded to the county. To search for a business, simply enter the name at the top of the search frame and hit Enter or click Search. You can limit your search to just business certificates or limited partnerships or corporations, and you can also limit your search to a specific time period. When viewing search results, you can again click on any of the column headings to sort the results based on that column. Clicking Details will again show the details of the filing, and if any subsequent documents were filed amending or terminating the business, they would be displayed in the details as well. By looking at the details of Hibiscus Cheapskate Partners, you can see that it was originally incorporated as Capital Partners of Augusta Ltd. in 2007, then filed an amendment in 2007 which changed the name of the company, and then filed another amendment in 2010. If you're seeking the articles of incorporation or bylaws of the corporation, you can contact the Department of State. The Westchester County Clerk has only an abbreviated version of the corporate filing. Thank you for joining us today for the WRO Legal Records Searching tutorial video. Please visit us online and check out our other tutorials at westchesterclerk.com, and visit our YouTube channel and Facebook page, and follow us on Twitter. Thank you.